Cinderella. Once upon a time, there was an unhappy girl named Cinderella. She was always dusty and dirty. All day she had to cook for her stepmother and clean up after her stepsisters. At night, she slept on the floor by the fire. Her stepsisters were bossy. "Come and do my hair." Her stepmother was cruel. "It's not clean enough, do it again." But Cinderella was always loving and kind. One day an invitation arrived. "To all the ladies of the house, the king invites you to a royal ball for his son Prince Charming." "Of course Cinderella can't go," said her stepmother. "She's just a servant." "I wish I could go to the ball." Cinderella made her stepsisters dresses. "Give me more frills." She painted their faces and curled their hair. "Don't I look wonderful?" "I look better." She watched them step into the carriage and drive away. Then Cinderella sat down by the fire and wept. "What is it?" asked a gentle voice. "What's the matter?" "Oh!" cried Cinderella. A fairy stood before her in a swirl of stars. "I'm your fairy godmother. Why are you crying?" the fairy asked. "I want to go to the ball," sobbed Cinderella. "And so you shall," said the fairy. "But first, we'll need a pumpkin." Cinderella ran into the garden and picked the biggest pumpkin she could find. "Stand back," said the fairy. She tapped the pumpkin with her wand. Abracadabra! Sparkles shot through the air. The pumpkin rose up, growing bigger and rounder. Then, bang! "You've turned it into a coach." "Now I need a mousetrap," the fairy went on. "Here's one." 6 mice ran out. The fairy tapped each one. They turned into 6 proud horses, tossing their silky manes. "What shall we do for a coachman?" asked the fairy. The rat in the trap looked hopeful. "Yes, you'll do." "For my next spell, I need 6 lizards." "Here!" called Cinderella, behind the watering can. With a wave of the wand, they were footmen dressed in glittering green. Cinderella looked down at her tattered clothes. The fairy raised her wand one last time. Cinderella's rags vanished. She wore a golden ball gown laced with flowers. "Thank you, fairy godmother." On her feet were glass slippers, the prettiest she'd ever seen. "Just remember, you must leave before the clock strikes midnight. Then my magic will start to fade." Cinderella waved from the carriage. "Take her to the ball." The horses galloped away. "This is like a dream." She walked into the palace and gazed around in wonder. A whisper followed her wherever she went. "Who is that beautiful girl?" The prince saw Cinderella. He rushed up to her. "Dance with me." Cinderella put her hand in his. They glided across the ballroom. Cinderella's stepsisters watched. They thought she must be a princess. "I bet the prince would rather dance with me." Cinderella and the prince danced and danced until the clock struck midnight. "I must go." Cinderella dashed away. As she ran down the palace steps, Her dress turned back to rags. Her carriage was a pumpkin. Her coachman was a rat. Cinderella ran home on bare feet beneath the starry sky. The prince hurried after her. "Wait, I don't even know your name." All that was left was a glass slipper sparkling on the steps. At home, Cinderella waited for her stepsisters. "How was the ball?" she asked. "A princess came," they said. "The prince danced with her all night, otherwise he would have danced with us. She ran away at the end. I wonder if he'll ever find her." Cinderella smiled a secret smile, but said nothing. 2 days later, the king's trumpet sounded in the street. "The prince will marry the girl who fits this shoe." The prince went from the house to house. Every girl wanted to try on the shoe. At last, they came to Cinderella's house. Her stepsisters tried to squeeze into the shoe. "Oh, oof!" Cinderella came quietly into the room. "May I try it on?" she asked. It was a perfect fit. Cinderella pulled the other glass slippers from her pocket. As she put it on, the room lit up with stars. Her rags turned back into a ball gown. "At last!" cried the prince. "I've found you. Will you marry me?" "Yes," replied Cinderella. Everyone was invited to the wedding, even the stepsisters. Cinderella had such a kind heart, she forgave her family and lived happily ever after with her prince.